Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Welcome to Disgruntled, the podcast where we process the minor inconveniences that feel like personal attacks.
Traffic, conference calls, group texts, no one's safe.
We're not here to fix anything. We're here to vent, to spiral, and to laugh instead of scream.
Basically, it's therapy, but with less crying and more yelling into the void.
And just so we don't get fired, the views expressed in the podcast are ours and ours alone. They do not reflect the opinions of our employers, past, present, or future.
Or yours, or anyone's really.
We're not really professionals. We're just professionally done with everything.
Call us today, cry for help, but make it funny at 479-222-1251.
Or you can find us at disgruntlednetwork.org and submit your unfortunate ramblings via form.
And visit the link in the bio for more details.
Anyway, so we're your host of Disgruntled. I'm Bailey Bowlin.
I'm Gillian Johnson.
And let's get into the episode.
So Jill and I, naturally, we come on before we start recording usually, and we'll chit chat for a second. But between the one word exchange we just had, I thought it was time for us to go ahead and start recording. Oh, girl, how's it been?
Well, we always said that, well, I always said that the day that I wear my hair up in a bun on the podcast was going to be a rough one. And so for our listeners who are not currently viewing the episode, my hair is in a messy bun. And so I don't know if we've reached an all-time low or an all-time high. You get to see all of my facial features, including what feels like a Mount Everest over here on my forehead growing. So do with that information as you will. I couldn't be bothered to make my hair look presentable. So thank God for our listeners who are not viewers. You get to just hear my voice and don't see what a disheveled mess I am.
Right.
This week has been, oh boy, it's been a year and a week. In my personal opinion, I don't know how everybody else feels, but oh my God. I will say my morning commute has gotten so much quicker, and I did not realize how much of my
School traffic.
It was school traffic. I get on the freeway now and don't have to wait 30 minutes to merge. Like, it's cleared up, boy. I've now calculated how much longer I can sleep because of how much shorter my commute has gotten. And
that's a lose-lose game there, Jill.
Yeah, but it's got me an extra 10 to 15 minutes. And that's wild when you think about it.
In these days and ages, we should take the 10 and 15 minutes where we can get them.
Correct. And I have. In other news, I spent my Memorial weekend moving my mother into an apartment. So
holy shit.
Yeah.
You could have called. I would have helped. We would have helped. Sorry.
Oh, no.
I know y'all moved us like 64 freaking times.
You did not want to be there.
Yeah.
It was so much. So my rants this week all include the things about moving. I have several.
Okay.
I have a list. I'm implementing a Bailey. Number
Love.
one, couches with built-in beds are a bitch to move. And I'm just gonna leave that there where it may be. And my grandmother's house is structurally built a long time ago, before there were code sizes for a lot of the doorways. So her main doorway in and out of her house is quite narrow, and it takes you have to flip all furniture basically on its side and pivot
Mhm.
to get out of the doorway. And so my my disgruntled screaming into the void this week is there should be some kind of system for couches with beds built in them so that when you tilt them sideways, the bed just doesn't fall out. There should be
Right.
companies need to have some kind of locking system for those of us with narrow doorways that have to fit and put furniture on its sides. There should be some kind of locking something. And so, oh my God, it was just a nightmare trying to move the furniture and keep, like, you can't have, okay, it's all fine and dandy when you have one person on each end of the couch, but the section in the middle where the bed's trying to fall out and you can't have a third person there because you're trying to fit through the damn door. Oh my
Right.
God. It
Who
also,
helped you?
it was me, Liam, and our other roommate that we
Okay.
didn't get chased by a pack of dogs.
Okay.
Robo. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering if they had helped. That
Yeah.
makes me
Well,
feel better
so
about not being there.
yeah. Well, Ruben was out of the country. He was on a trip to
Oh,
Mexico. So it was
okay.
yeah, it was Robo came and helped us move. Thank God for him because it was I also feel like you know how even in the roughest times, so we're all yelling at each other, griping about this couch. But in the roughest times, things did really seem to work out on Saturday because
Mhm.
we got to my mom's, we left. Okay, so this is number 2, U-Haul. Okay? U-Haul. Your days are numbered. Your days are numbered because what's the point in putting in a reservation for something if you aren't going
Right.
to reserve it?
Right.
What is so thankfully I have been hoodwinked so many times and I have been gaslit so many times that there was something in my little brain that was like, Jillian, even though you've made your reservation, you should probably call them before you drive 45 minutes to the town where my mom lives and make sure the reservation is good before you waste your thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. So I called them. I was like, do you have the truck and the dolly that we can rent? And they were like, oh, about that. We don't actually have any dollies. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. So you expect me to move a whole house full of furniture without a dolly? No, you got me messed up. You got me all the way messed up. Okay? That's not gonna work. So I said, what about this? I said, I am gonna call some U-Hauls in Little Rock and get a dolly before I go down there because I can't move a whole house full of furniture without a
Yeah.
dolly. So
Yeah.
thankfully I called another local U-Haul and they had some utility dollies and they were able to give it to me, but then I had to make room in the car and get it down there. They did have the truck ready, but since we were one-weighing the truck, it was one of their let's just put this kindly. It was one of their models that they were okay with never seeing again. Okay? Never
Yeah.
seeing again. So somebody at one point who owned this, rented this U-Haul had broken the driver side mirror completely off, and U-Haul had put a board and zip tied the mirror back into place so that it could still be rented. Kudos for innovation over here. If only the zip ties and the board were angled in a way that the mirror was still usable on the U-Haul, that would have also been great.
Too much to ask, Jill.
Yeah, too much. But on the bright side, despite all of the mountains loads of crap, we go and get the reservation at the U-Haul. We go to my mom's place where she's living. We get all of the stuff loaded onto the truck. We realize the truck is actually not still big enough. Surprise to no one that my mom has that amount of crap. And
But is
yeah.
did she take like some of like the stuff from like your grandma's house and that kind of stuff too?
Well, everything that she was going to my mom, in the process of my grandmother's estate, has kind of gotten passed out everything that she wasn't gonna be taking with her to her
Gotcha.
next place. So, like,
Gotcha.
she kind of like everything, like, reserved was gonna be what she wanted to bring to her next place. Now, not
Gotcha. Okay.
everything is still out because I was supposed to get some more of what was supposed to be brought to my house from my grandmother's. I was wanting to do it all at once and rent one U-Haul at one time and get my mother's things and my things. But we didn't manage to get all of my furniture as well because the U-Haul, I rented a 20-foot, okay? I did not get the freaking small here. And you think, oh, well, you must have got. No, I got the mid-sized 20-foot freaking long U-Haul, and there still wasn't enough space. But we get it all loaded up, and then immediately, as soon as we close the door, downpour.
Oh,
Downpour. I
God.
mean, rain like you haven't seen rain ever. So if we had been even 20 minutes or 30 minutes difference between when we got there and when we started, we would have been soaked. So
Right.
things do work out. And so it's pouring. It is raining. So we get in the U-Haul. I'm driving it, of course. Because I am that
Because Jill's the man.
correct. I didn't know how to say that, and so I'm so glad that you said that for all of
Yeah.
us.
Jill's the man.
I am. So I was driving because my mom can barely be trusted to drive her Honda CRV, much less a 20-foot U-Haul. And do with
Sure.
that information as you will. So we drive to my house in the pouring rain. Okay, it is stressful enough to drive a U-Haul. It's stressful enough to drive a U-Haul with a broken mirror that you can't see out of and windshield wipers that look like they're from 1975. And so we finally get to my house to drop off because we put my stuff towards the very front of the door so it'd be the first to get offloaded. And so we get to pull up to my house. Stops raining. It stops raining. It stops in the middle of the
No.
downpour. It stops raining, and then we get to move our stuff, my stuff, into the house without it being pour down rain. And then we go to my mom's new place. So on the way to my mom's new place, I didn't notice, but the door of the U-Haul, the driver door, didn't lock all the way. No warnings on any of the panels, none of the screens, nothing. So I get up to freeway speed on the freeway and I can
Stop.
hear noise. I'm like, why is it so loud? It was not that loud on the way up here. And I touch the handle, and as I go to touch the handle, the door flies. So I have to grab the door handle and hold it shut. And my grip is so with the other hand, I'm having to get the signal on and get off the next exit and hold the door shut, hoping to God it doesn't fly back open. So I get pulled over on the side of the freeway. And of course, my mom and Liam, who are following me in different vehicles, are freaking out because they don't know why I'm pulling over.
Right.
And so I finally get pulled over, and they're like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I was like, "Well, we almost had to use the U-Haul insurance. This door flew. Thank God I was wearing my seatbelt. I almost flew out of the U-Haul."
If anyone could have actually flew out of that U-Haul, it would be you.
Correct. So again, everything worked out perfect because I had my seatbelt on and I got pulled over in time. And thankfully, when the door flew open, there wasn't a car next to me. I mean, there were so many things that could have gone incredibly wrong. And it wasn't raining at this point, so it was all great. So I get to finally get the door latched and I lock it so it doesn't happen again. And then we get to my mom's place and unload. And so, again, a lot of things could have gone absolutely worse than what they did. And so, you know how the universe tells you things are working out, and I was like, those little things I guess were just tests. And I made it through the exam, and I am exhausted. But my mom got moved into her new apartment. And
That's good.
yeah, so
How far away is she from you?
she is now only 15 minutes. So
Wow. I know she's
yeah.
loving every second of that.
Yeah, she is, 'cause
How many times has she been to your house?
already 3 times.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
already.
Wednesday, people.
So, that is my complaints for the week. U-Haul, I'm coming for you. Keep reservations and couches, please try to keep your beds locked into them. That's my rants.
That's funny. That's funny. I have more questions about your mom's new place, but I'll ask that when we aren't being recorded. So,
You know what would be great right now? A sponsor.
You know what's even better than rage? Revenue.
If you're listening and you've got a product, email us or send us cash. We're open. What are your complaints for the week, Bailey?
okay, so it has been a week and a half since we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I went on my work trip to Phoenix, Arizona. Hot as
Yeah.
hell. It was so freaking
Oh.
hot. And I'm a fair weather friend. I'm talking 60 to 80. Okay. 60 to 80.
Yeah.
Sunshine. No rain
Mm-mm.
at all. So we went there or whatever. It was great. The work part of the trip was it was good. It was a learning experience. So that was good. And then usually like every single night, which I say every single night, but we were only there for 2 nights. Um, you know, but we would just like stay at the hotel. So like I had which one of those nights I edited last week's episode and then like I restarted The Walking Dead because I never
What a good
finished it.
series.
I
Yeah.
never finished it. So I restarted The Walking Dead and I was watching that on the plane. And then, so yeah, that was fun. First complaint. First complaint. Flight there wasn't bad at all. But the flight back was very interesting.
Mm.
No. Flight back was great. Flight there was interesting.
Mm.
I sat next to a person on the plane. David, if you're listening, I hope you are. So, what is it with, I'm not going to say, this is a generalization, but it's not everyone in that category. But why is it that men feel the need to spread their legs about 6 feet apart from each other?
Oh, the man spread. I am very
The man spread.
unfortunately familiar with the man spread.
And here I am. You know, guys, I'm not the most petite person in the world. I'm a little husky, you know. Um, so I'm not the most petite person in the world, and I know that, and I am very socially aware of that, right? And so I try to like make myself smaller or like lean over to the side so they have more room, and like cross my legs to where like I'm not in their space, you know. That being said, I am not. No, I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, so David, this man spread his legs about 6 feet apart from each other. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we were touching thighs,
Oh,
literally touching thighs, Jill,
too much contact. Too
with
much
someone
contact.
I have no idea who he is. Apparently, so guys, here's another thing about me. Very nosy. Very nosy. On like things that doesn't matter, obviously. Things that I know is none of my business. I'm not going to pay attention to it. But when you are sitting on a plane and the man next to you pulls out his laptop, okay? Gets his laptop
Mm-hmm.
out, opens it on a PDF, and it has like accounting balance sheets Okay. So in my head, I said, ooh,
Oh.
ooh, I can read that. And so
Yeah.
like I'm looking over, I'm like reading, and like David runs a good company. It's got some money flowing. Okay. He's in
Oh.
construction. He's in
Okay.
construction. I think he's a contractor. So some good money flowing through that. I'm talking in the millions.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was looking over and I was like, I was just trying to figure out what he does for work and like his name and like all that kind of stuff. And then I looked him up on LinkedIn. And then and then he decided that he was done working, so put his laptop up. Okay. So in the seat backs, they have like the cards, right? The just like the placards of like safety information, of like onboard Wi-Fi, like what do you do in the case of this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, our row of me and him, obviously I got a window seat. Our row only had one set of those placards. Okay. And
Oh.
so David, being the person that he is, reaches over me
Uh-uh.
to get this placard. Okay. And then like I was watching zombies kill each other. Okay.
Correct.
And so he touched, like he tapped me. And he was like, do you mind? And I was like, no, that's fine, And I reached for him, and then he reached over and got him.
Ooh.
So my space was very much invaded by David,
Yeah, it
and
was.
irritating, but it's no big deal. It is what it is. I don't care. Da, 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 da. That happened with David. And then what else happened with David? Don't remember. Anyway, got back from the trip late Wednesday night, drove all the way back home late Wednesday night. And then I woke up and then went to work on Thursday and didn't miss a freaking beat. Okay.
Mm.
So what am I trying to say? Was that weekend? No, was that? I already talked about bingo. Yeah, I already talked about
Yeah.
bingo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Friday night I left work early. Or Friday I left work early because it was a holiday weekend. No one was there. Was great. Got a lot done. Okay.
Love that for us.
But left early and I was like, no, not doing it. So long weekend. Heck yeah, right?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Mm.
So Friday we got haircuts.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday we went on a drive to Ozark to look at an antique store, to go to an antique store.
Mm.
And then Susan came over, I think. And then, which I love. I love Susan coming over. And then Sunday rolls around. I wake up and I'm like, listen, I gotta clean the house. Like at some point, somebody's got to do it, and I can assure you right now, it's not gonna be Jimmy.
Correct.
And the maid we hired, apparently we fired that girl too because
She ain't
I
nowhere to
haven't
be
seen her.
found.
Right. And y'all, when I'm saying the maid we hired, I'm talking about me. I'm the maid at this house. Okay.
Yes.
Can't afford a freaking actual maid. So I was like, okay, I got to get up and clean the house. So, here's my second complaint. Glass showers. Okay. Glass doors on a shower.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell do you clean them? How do you clean them? Oh my God. I got so tired of looking at those doors and looking like they're frosted glass, guys. And it's see-through. See-through is supposed to be. Frosted glass with soap scum, I guess, pissed me off. And so I went ahead and got the vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
Sprayed it on, let it sit for like 5 minutes or whatever. Started some laundry, came back in there and started to like wipe away things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't freaking budging. Would not budge.
Yeah.
Wouldn't budge. Would not
Mm.
budge. So I got a toothbrush. And I was like,
No. Oh my
and
God.
I had to scrub those 2 doors with a toothbrush for at least an hour.
Oh my God. To make it look like not frosted glass anymore.
Yeah, 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 for
Mm.
at least an hour. So I did that. And they look great now, honestly. They look so good. And like I bought a squeegee, so I was like, every time Jimmy G, let me say this to him. Every time you get out of that shower, you are to squeegee those doors. Period.
Unless you want to clean with a toothbrush, you better mind your
Uh-huh.
P's and Q's.
Uh-huh. So then I moved on to laundry because here's my third rant for the week. I hate having a laundry room. I hate
Mm-hmm.
having a laundry room. And let me explain why. I hate having a laundry room because that's where laundry goes to freaking die at my house. It goes into the laundry room and it never gets out. And so okay, guys, I will wash my clothes, dry my clothes, hang them up, fold them, put them where they're supposed to be, right? That's me. That's how I do things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My little Jimmy G,
Lives out
he
the
will wash
dryer.
his clothes, throw it in the dryer, right? And they will stay in the dryer until he wears them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go in there, bebopping in there, bop, 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 trying to start a load of laundry. And I do. And then I'm ready to like take them from the washer to the dryer. And then it's full of crap. Right. So then all of his clothes go out of the dryer and get on top of the dryer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then I put mine in, whatever. They're gone. I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and start a load of like towels or sheets or something. Okay. Start that. Now, I'm really good about putting my clothes up because I don't want them to wrinkle because I don't have an iron and I don't know why I don't, but I don't.
Me neither.
But when I switch those sheets or towels over to the dryer, there's something in my chemical makeup in this big old noggin of mine that says, oh, they can stay in there. So for 6 months, there's been shit all over my freaking laundry room. So I finally on Sunday morning, I was like, you know what? Today's the day. Today's the day. Gotta go.
Aww.
Gotta go. So I get it going or whatever. And during that, I come out of my laundry room, go into the kitchen, and I'm like, well, I guess this is next. So because like for the past like month or so, we've been really bad about like not cooking at home. Like we will go out every single dinner, which I know that's wrong. I know we shouldn't do that. It is what it is. Mind your own business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But haven't cooked, so we haven't had dishes, but like we have like a few dishes here and there. And so there were still dishes, and I was like, okay, I'll load the dishwasher, whatever. So I got all the dishes put up, and I love having a island in my kitchen, but that shit is the collector of everything.
It's the catch-all.
Everything.
Yep.
And my little Jimmy G loves to open the mail, read it, and just throw it on the counter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so here I am looking through all of this crap, and I'm like, okay, that could have been trash 6 weeks ago. That's trash 6 weeks ago. That's the bill I paid 6 weeks ago. And I'm like, so I throw all of it away.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, I need to scrub the counters. I need to move everything out and I need to like clean the counters, right? And so I was using like a bleach cleaner. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite cleaner. It is my favorite cleaner because it sanitizes. It feels clean, right? So
Right.
use my bleach cleaner. It's smelling clean. I've touched every single counter surface in this kitchen. And Jimmy says, "Are you going to wash that off?" I said,
What do you mean?
"What?"
Yeah.
I said, "No, why?" And he's like, "Well, that's toxic. Why would you keep that on the counter? Shouldn't you like use something on top of it to like clean it off further?" And I was like, "Well, Jimmy, if you're going to be in here licking these countertops, we have a problem."
Yeah, we do.
And I said, "And let's be honest, you didn't lick them before."
So don't
And
lick them
so,
now.
right. But anyway, I went over every single countertop again with a cleaner or whatever. And then what? Then what? I went back to my bathroom and finished um just like tidying up basically. And then he comes in there and he was like, "Hey, my mom and dad are coming down." Huh?
Uh,
I'm like,
thanks for the warning.
I look like I have been hit by a meteorite. Okay. And you're wanting us to go entertain somebody. And let me add on top of that, that Sunday morning, we also went to Walmart to get groceries because we hadn't been grocery shopping in like months. And so finally went to Walmart, got groceries. So went to Walmart. I did the laundry. I scrubbed the freaking shower door, cleaned the bathroom, cleaned the kitchen. Like, so everything was spotless. Everything looked great. And while I'm doing all this, he's like touching everything in the living room.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing, that's a blooper. Um, but the, but the thing is, that Sunday was my in-laws' wedding anniversary. 37 years. Congratulations.
Aw.
That's a feat.
Oh, that's a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So on their wedding anniversary, they came down to our house. We went to dinner and they paid for it. And I was like, this just doesn't seem
Sounds
right.
right.
It just doesn't, that doesn't make sense to me.
I guess that
But
means you've been married for 37 years.
right, right. Yeah, but I had a great time, had a good time with that. And then Monday I finished up more laundry and Susan came over and we watched some shows and stuff. So it's been good. Oh, okay. So now we're up to Tuesday. Y'all, I'm going through my week and a half, okay? I'm going through my
Yeah.
week and a half at this point. Tuesday, yesterday, okay? I get up normal time, 4:45, get ready, get dressed, like I'm trying to leave at 5:30 because I was like, "Okay, I had a deadline yesterday," and I was like, "Okay, need to get there a little bit early, make sure that it gets done, make sure it gets submitted, and like I'm good to go on that side because I have another deadline on Friday." Yeah. So, um, this Friday. Uh, okay. So I'm ready to leave the house 5:30. I walk into the kitchen and I was going to like pack some because we got like a whole shit ton of blackberries. And then we have like a cantaloupe of watermelon that I was just gonna pack like a little charcuterie board without the meats
Aw,
and the cheeses and the
just the
crackers. It's
fruits.
just fruit. So I was gonna pack something like that. And so I did, and I found my lunchbox and I was trying to put it in there, didn't fit, so I got irritated, and so I just threw it in the fridge, and I was like, "Forget it." And then, I go out to my car, okay?
Mm,
And so, my car is a smart car, right?
right.
It's a hybrid. It's extremely technologically advanced. But I go out to my car and my phone acts as my key. Okay. So if I put my hand on the driver's door, if I have my phone, it'll unlock. Like it will unlock. I can control my car from my phone. So I did that. Wasn't working. I was like, That's weird. So I'm messing around in my backpack trying to find my actual key. And I finally found it. I get it out. And like I click unlock, nothing happens.
No.
And I immediately start going in my head. I said, okay, is the key fob dead? And so like I unlock it again, but it's flashing like a green light. So I know it's like there it has a battery. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I go back into the house. I lock the door. Do I have a house key? Nope. Uh-uh. Nope. Sure didn't. Sure didn't have my house key. So then I was like, well, shit. And Jimmy's already back asleep at this point. And so I just kind of like, probably shouldn't say that on something that's recorded in public.
About where your spare key is or in your house?
No, not even that. But I pushed on my door and I guess I didn't shut it like hard enough. I didn't shut it all the way or whatever. Pushed on it, opened right up. I said, oh, cool. That's great. That's good to know. And then, so I went back in the house, went back to our bedroom or whatever, and I walked in and I was like, hey, like, got a problem, and he's like, what's wrong? Dogs are so excited because they thought I was gone and like all that kind of stuff. And he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, my car won't start. And he's like, okay. And he was like, well, is it in gear? And I said, my car will not let me in it. It's dead. It's dead. There's no life. There is no battery. There is no light. There is nothing. It is dead.
DEAD.
And I remember when we got it and they were like, if you ever have to like dump this car, be extremely careful because it's highly I don't
Likely
know.
that something will go wrong because it is a lot
Yeah,
electric.
yeah. It's a lot electric. And so they were like, be very, very careful if you ever have to dump this car. And so that's going through my head. And he's like, okay. And like he's just laying there. And I was like, you got any solutions? I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like I gotta go. You're moving too slow for me. Like, let's go,
Mm-hmm.
And so finally he got up and follows me out there. And he's like, okay. And he's like, where's your key? I give it to him. And he's trying it. He goes, yeah, it won't unlock. I said, oh, God. I said, oh,
I would have
God.
never tried that. Thank you so very much. I would have
I
never thought.
said, I know the Lord is testing me right now, and I know I'm failing miserably because I'm having to repent for what I'm thinking right now. And he was like, okay. And he's like, well, where's your manual key? Because like I have like a manual key that's on like a different set of key rings that isn't in my fob, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
And so I got it. And he was like, okay. And I was like, well, I need my badge right there. Like, I need that badge. And it's in my middle console. And he's like, well, we have to get your car open. I said, isn't that what we're here to do?
Correct.
And he goes, I don't know why. He's like, I don't know why you have such an attitude with me right now. I said, I'm irritated and I'm sorry. I said, I'm irritated. And he's like, okay. And so he got it unlocked or whatever with my manual key. I took my badge and he's like, I guess you'll have to take my car. I said, okay, cool. Sounds fine with me. And he's like, but I need it tonight for visits that I have planned. I said, okay, I will leave work early and I'll come home and deal with it. Right. And so I left. He called me about 10 minutes later. I was in Rudy. I mean, that's how close I was in Rudy. And he's like, hey, I got your car started. I said, huh? I said, how? And he said, well, I popped the trunk and everything just started working again. I said, so Jimmy, on what earth does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's something wrong. Like that's an issue. Like we need to get that fixed. We need to get that addressed. And like I've had this like hazard light that keeps coming on, and it's like the front parking assistant something sensor or something um is blocked or malfunctioned or something. And so I called the dealership and I was like, hey, like this is going on. I ran my vehicle diagnostics, doesn't say anything's happening. Should I bring this in? Should I be worried about it? And they were like, no, it just sounds like your sensors are dirty. And I was like, makes sense. Because I notoriously do not wash a vehicle. And so at all costs.
Mhm.
And so I've just been ignoring it, right? And so that had started happening, and now this has happened. And I got a text randomly about service at the local dealership. And I texted Jimmy. I said, hey, like, did you schedule my car to be looked at? And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, what for? And he was like, well, it needs to be looked at. And I said, no, I understand that. And I agree with that. I'm just asking, let me rephrase it. Has anything additional happened? Like, have you not been able to start it again? Anything like that? And he goes, oh, yeah, it happened again. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh, dang.
So I was like, okay. So I got home and I looked at him. I said, Jimmy, I know this sounds stupid. I know it does. But I'm leery about driving that car now. Like I'm very
Yeah.
nervous to drive it again. And I said, because the difference between you taking it around here is somebody can be to you in 10 minutes. It
Mhm.
could be hours for me, depending on what time it is, depending on a lot of things. It could be hours for me sitting somewhere on the side of the road,
Well, yeah.
stranded. And
Exactly.
he's like, I know. He's like, I know. Yeah, that makes sense. And so that's the hell I've been going through. So this morning, I got up and took my car to work. But it started. I mean, it started and everything. Didn't really have any issues with it. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but getting real tired of it.
Yeah.
I've also realized that I am more of a person that will, I'm very quick to wash my hands of something.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because all day yesterday, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna trade it in and get a new car.
Immediately he wants to eat it out the window.
And like, let me go ahead and tell y'all too, like, I have every single warranty and protection on that car that I could possibly get offered.
Yeah.
So it's not like like I'm going to be without that vehicle. You know, like I am
Right.
locked into that vehicle of if anything happens to that car, it will be fixed and it will be returned to me.
It will be covered.
So it's immediate. Like, you know, I guess that's the planner in me that's like, okay, I need to plan for the worst case scenario. But
And that
yeah,
is. Mhm.
yeah, it was not a good day for me. So since we've talked for 48 minutes,
This might be
sorry
the episode.
guys.
Yeah.
Whoops. We're gonna take a break here, and I'm probably gonna put a break between mine and Jill's stories. And then when we come back, this week's submissions, I intentionally took some smaller ones that are less of like a more of a paragraph style, but like some smaller, just like little blurbs, submissions. So I think we can probably fit all 4 into our last user submissions segment because we took too long today. So let's hear a word from our sponsors.
When society collapses, you'll wish you had advertised on Disgruntled. But until then, there's still time. Sponsor us.
Okay, we're back. I'm going first. First, we have Juliana from San Antonio, Texas. Reminds me, um, the chicks, formerly Dixie Chicks, have an album called Gaslighter, and there's a song called Juliana Calm Down, and I love that song. So I really like her name. Really love their name.
Yeah. That's great.
Also, I ditched my sister's wedding to go to a Chicks concert. So there's that. So
A little background.
Juliana from San Antonio, Texas, she says, every time I clean my house, somehow it looks worse before it looks any better. I'll start by folding laundry, and then suddenly I have 3 random cups on the counter, every closet door is open, and an emotional support pile is in the middle of the floor. And Juliana, that was my Sunday. That was my Sunday, because I have something called ADHD. Am I medicated? No. I just deal with it. But I'm really bad about bouncing from like one task to another. And so like I'll have something in the bathroom and I'm like, oh, I need to put this in the laundry room. So then I'll go in the laundry room. I'm like, well, I can switch the laundry over. So then I switch the laundry over. And then I see like some tea towels that I can fold. So I fold the tea towels and put them up in the kitchen. But then I see this cup in the sink. And I'm like, okay, well, that can go into the dishwasher. Put that in the dishwasher. And then I forget what I was doing in the first place. So it's a constant, like, where am I at doing what? So, understandable, definitely. I refuse to clean out my closets. And that's probably something I should do someday. Also, I went to on the trip. I went to Phoenix, and then I left. In my office, we had a coffee table that we had replaced the one in the living room with a different one and put that one in here for right now. So that was my catch-all. I put like just random shit on that, honestly. And I come back and I'm putting all my stuff down. I went straight to bed. So the next day, that Thursday, I came home and I put my backpack for work in my office, and the coffee table's missing. So I forgot to ask Jimmy until like this past weekend. And finally I was like, what happened to that coffee table? he goes, I told you, did you forget? And I was like, I guess so. What happened? And he was like, oh, I donated it. And I was like, okay, cool.
Oh.
I'm like, cool. Okay. So that was gone. So I know exactly what you mean. But my closets, y'all, I don't know. I have our guest bedroom and my office are both my like wardrobe closets, but I also have a hall closet for jackets. So I have a lot of clothes, right? And they're scattered because I wake up so early. I don't want to be in our bedroom in our closet and like rifling through trying to decide what I want to wear and try to keep the dogs in bed, and like it's just too much. So I
Yeah.
have shit everywhere. But then I also have like other things. So like I have all of my books from undergrad. Thankfully I didn't have to buy any books for my graduate degree. That was all online.
Yeah.
But then I have like the t-shirts from high school that I'm never gonna wear again. I have a sewing box. I don't sew. I can, don't. I have an actual sewing machine. I don't sew. Um, and then I have like 17 apple boxes. I got 2 graduation gowns. There's a printer in there. There's a lot going on in these closets. So that will be on my to-do list at some point. I also need to actually clean my office at some point, because what is shown on camera is nice and clean and all those things, but everything else is like closing in. So
I love the
yeah,
giggle after
yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
relatable.
But one of the best things I've ever done, um, I've put a trash can. See it?
Aw,
I put a
yeah.
trash can. Oh God.
Oh.
I put oh, that's just gonna bother me. Anyway, now I'm self-conscious. I I put a trash can in my office, and that's been great because I've been able to like throw things away as they need to be thrown away. Which
Oh, that
reminds
does
me
help.
that. So yeah, um, Juliana, I understand. I hate cleaning because it's never just like a do one thing task. It manipulates and like transforms into like 17 other freaking things to do. So completely understand. Thank you for your submission.
Okay. Thank you. And I'm going to go over our last one for this episode. I've got Connor from Wyoming, and Connor says, pets act like you've personally ruined their lives over the tiniest inconvenience. I moved my dog's bed 6 inches to vacuum, and he stared at me like I bulldozed his childhood home. And if that's not, I don't know if me and Connor actually have the same dog, because Nico acts the exact same way. When I tell you my dog, so again, in preparation for getting the couch, we moved our current couches out on the sun porch until we get a new configuration, and one of them is going to get donated. And so Nico's comfort place was taken away from him, and we moved in the new couch. Well, didn't think anything about it, nothing. Well, we're sitting around Saturday night, finally relaxing after having moved all day, and Nico's pacing around the house like he don't know where he at. Like we done got up and moved, and then nothing is the same. We literally just replaced a couch, and Nico act like we had entirely redecorated the entire like the entire house, and he had nowhere safe to sit, nowhere safe. Everything was mixed up and discombobulated. We only replaced a couch. It took him 2 days before he got comfortable being back in the living room again. And if that's
Well,
not relatable,
and that's what it's like having a dog or an animal that is highly anxious. Because
yeah.
my little augmentin, my little Augie, I love that boy, but God, he has some problems.
I was like, is it
Because
not enough that I have anxiety? I have to have a dog with anxiety as
right,
well.
right, right. Yeah, it's always like when I go away for like work trips or whatever, overnight and like all that kind of stuff. Jimmy will always text me and be like, Augie will not eat. He won't even look at his food because you're not home. And then I shit you not, as soon as I get home, he will instantly go over to his food bowl and start eating. Instantly. And so like I guess I am his comfort
Yeah.
of knowing nothing's gonna happen while he's at the house that we've lived in for literally 3 years with all of his things that, and like guys, we haven't changed our like
Set up, really.
configuration or like
Mm-hmm.
setup at all. Like at
Mm-mm.
all in 3 years. We've added shit to the walls. We've added shit to the floors. We've added shit to the shelves and the trunks and everywhere you can probably add shit. But we have never changed the actual layout. And that just boggles me. I think the most change that we have done is when I got a king size bed for the guest bedroom, and when we switched that coffee table and put it in my office, and that was the most change that we've done. And I think Augie liked it more because that new bed is lower and he can jump up there easier. And so it's
Yeah.
just not it's not as bad as it once was. Yeah, he's a little neurotic. He's something. And like little Little's my big dog, my Aussie Doodle. And she's so stinking smart, like she is extremely smart. And so she could care less if anything changes. And she's fun. And then Judd,
Yeah, a lot can be said for Judd.
I love that little turd. He is such a freaking turd, but he's the sweetest little man. He so when we go to bed, you can tell him like, get in your spot, go lay down. And he will instantly go and lay above my head.
He loves elevation. He needs to be at the peak of the mountain.
Above my head.
Yeah.
Even if like I'm sitting on the couch, he would be laying right here, right? And
Yep.
then like I'm laying down, okay? So like here's my head, here's him, you know? And like I've had to start like putting my pillow lower, so I actually have a freaking pillow, and like having a blanket there for him to lay on so I can cover him up.
He's a freaking mountain
Oh my
goat.
God. It's like having kids, dude. It is it's just like having kids. It's just like it. And I have freaking 3 of them. The first 2, they're pretty trained. They know what to do. They know what not to do. They know their names. Judd, free range. That kid,
Does
he
what he
doesn't
wants
give
when
a
he wants.
damn.
Yeah.
And like, he doesn't forget. Like, he does not, like, if he can't get to something, he doesn't just like try for a second and then like forget about it, move on. That dude, he will sit there for 20 minutes waiting and like whining and like pawing at something for you to get up and get what he wants. And usually it's his little blue squeaker
And it's
that we
underneath
have.
a
And
chair.
it's underneath one of the recliners. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And he will sit there and wait for you to get up and he will just look at you. And I'm like, oh my God, dude.
You have
So.
a task.
But no,
Oh.
I literally think pets are so funny. Pets are so funny. But also when you think about like when you move something in the house or something, our lives as people, our lives don't revolve around the house usually. We have outside things that we go and do. We have other people's houses that we go to. We go to work. We do some people go to church. All those things. Usually the dogs have their house,
Yep.
you know?
In their environment.
And so
Yeah.
like when you think of it in that way, and like I mean you kind of are completely changing their daily routine. Like that's
Yeah.
understandable. Because I would do the same thing. I mean, I would do the
Mhm.
same thing completely.
Mhm.
So yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Who is that?
Condolences to me and Connor's from what Connor
Yeah.
from Wyoming. His dog and my dog are going through similar things. We'll keep our eyes out.
Yeah.
And
Get some puppy trazodone.
yeah, definitely gonna have supply that for when he gets his nails trimmed because that's a no. And that could be
Bless
a whole
him.
segment.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll go ahead and wrap up.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, guys. Sorry, Jill and I just chatted and bitched for 40 minutes.
It was that kind of
But
week,
guess
I'm
what?
telling you.
It was that kind of week when let's give it up for Jill's second time dropping the mic.
Let's do it. I don't know how that's going to sound on the podcast, but
Yeah,
that
no.
was me.
No, it's fine. So 1, it's been that kind of week. 2, it's our podcast. We can do what we want. 3, the other 2 that we had slated for this week will be moved to next week because they're really good. So I wanted to say thank you to Juliana and Connor for their submissions. We appreciate you very, very much. Keep listening. Share us with your friends. Tell them about your favorite podcast and your favorite 2 people who are slightly chaotic, very idiotic, and tired of multiple things. You can find us. I'm trying to do this all from memory. So you can find us online at www.disgruntlednetwork.org. That's our website. When you go there, there's multiple places that you can submit a complaint. You can also call us at 479-222-1251. You can also text that number. So do that. I will have the link tree up right here. It's also in our show description as a clickable link. So either click on that, copy and paste it into your browser, whatever you need to do to get up there. But that will take you to everywhere to find us. We are on all social media, either at disgruntled.pod or disgruntled.podcast, because God knows we can't have anything that is the same.
Mm-mm.
So that's going. So that's fun. Beware. There are other people out there that may be using some of our photos from the podcast and also might have the same bio as the podcast, but the only official communication from Disgruntled will come from disgruntled.pod or anything associated with our website at www.disgruntlednetwork.org. So please remember that. Don't send nobody no money. We aren't begging. They shouldn't either. So just wanted to say that. We also have merch at www.disgruntled.shop. I'm going to be probably doing a merch overhaul at some point soon. Maybe not overhaul, might just be adding some few pieces into it. Because I have an idea in my head that I want to use. Oh, and you know how that goes. So, that's that. Can't think of anything else. I hope you have a great week, great weekend. Tell somebody what you're mad about. Most importantly, tell us what you're mad about. So we can use it and you'll hear it.
Yes.
So, 'tis all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Let's do this again sometime. How about that?
Let's do it. Y'all have a great weekend. Doses.
Bye. This has been a Disgruntled Network multimedia production.
Created by people with a lot of opinions and just enough time to share them.
Executive produced by Gillian Johnson and Bailey Bowlin.
If you liked what you heard, don't forget to scream into the void or, leave us a review.